Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for February 15th, 2018. I'm Alex Kalafi, joined by a regular panel of Nintendo news reporters. Donald Terrio, as always. Hello.
Hello. In lieu of flowers, please send your votes to Tharja for the Fire Emblem Heroes Hero Rises competition.
That's right, Donald. That's right. Tharja is, one might say, one of the trademark waifus of Fire Emblem Heroes.
I just want her so I can finish my Armored Mage collection.
Sure, Donald, sure.
And my Christmas unit collection, too. So,
of course, yeah.
2 for the price of 1.
Although, like, if we were to necessarily say who are the top 5 to 10 waifus, Tharja probably makes that list. Probably. Anyways. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Alex. Have you ever looked over at your bookshelf and been like, did somebody take books off of there? That's what I've been doing the whole time I've been sitting down.
Did you take the books off?
Where'd those books go? I don't know.
Do you have a lot? Do you have many books?
I do have many books.
Huh.
Yeah.
Anyone borrow them? Maybe your wife? Maybe your daughters?
She would not read what I... My daughters. She would not read what I read.
Your dog.
But, yeah, what are you going to do?
I'll Zach's find them. Girls.
They're in the house somewhere.
And, Justin, hi.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Nothing much. Just a casual, laid-back little week. Where It's one of those weeks where there should theoretically be no news, and there's not necessarily crazy news, but there's still, like, a good bullet-pointed list of things to talk about, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what, Donald, you were saying 12 Switch games in...
I think it was 9. I think 9 new Switch game announcements in a little over 12 hours.
That's what it was. 12 Switch games, 9 Switch games, 12 hours, and we will get into those in just a second. But first, I want to talk about the WaifuLeighton news that's on everyone's minds. The 2 new Splatoon 2 Amiibo, $24.99. Pearl and Marina are getting their own 2-pack on...
Who knows?
No one knows yet. No one knows the date.
Why can't they be sold separately?
They don't do that. You buy them both.
Unless
I don't want the one of them.
Do what I do. Buy the 2-pack and then have a Viking funeral.
That's a good idea.
I didn't watch the trailer originally, but I'm looking at it now. And all there is a little, like, sort of the city plaza. There's a little shot of that. And then it just sort of does a rotation shot with some squid puns on the 2 amiibos. We don't know their functionality. We don't know when they're coming out. All we know is that it's going to be sold in the package at $24.99. It's going to come up with both of them.
Okay, everybody looks shocked. Because we knew this was coming. It was just a matter of when.
Surprised it took this long.
I got my pre-order in at Best Buy. I got Gamers Club Unlocked, 20% off.
Oh, yeah? That still comes on the Amiibo?
Yeah, it always is counted on the Amiibo there, just a heads up. So if you buy a lot of Amiibo, that's the best deal in town.
I would go to Best Buy for Amiibo, except all they have is Lottie.
Ew.
They marked it down to $5, and they still cannot get rid of them.
Didn't Toys R Us do that, but also have a buy one, get 3 free?
I took advantage of that shit. Oh, man. I think I have all the Animal Crossing Amiibo now, except the shoes guy and the 3-pack.
And the cards.
Oh, who gives a shit about the cards?
I'm just saying, that's an Amiibo, Zach.
You know what's the greatest shame is that KK Slider and Tom Nook are both excellent Amiibo, and that the build quality from that collection is actually really good, except the people releasing those Amiibo sets didn't realize that there's Isabelle, there's Tom Nook, there's KK, maybe the Owl if you want to push it a little bit, and that's it. There is no market for any other Animal Crossing Amiibo.
I got Isabelle and the dog. I forget what the dog's name is.
KK Slider, yeah?
No. Isabelle's buddy.
Reese?
Who works at the mortgage and loan.
Isn't that her brother or something?
I don't know. I don't give a shit. Anyway, I got them. They come with the Amiibo game for Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
$5. Got it for $5. Threw the game away.
just in the trash.
It is in the trash.
Send off a microwave with that disc.
I remember about a week after that game came out, I went into GameStop for something, and the guy was like crying that he couldn't sell them, and he had like a mountain of them.
Oh God!
Sitting behind the counter.
I bet they're still there.
Probably.
That's the Wii U's Animal Crossing game. It will always be the Wii U's Animal Crossing game.
Animal Crossing Plaza.
It always makes me so happy, or not happy, but so confused when I go into a store like Target and they're selling the Animal Crossing amiibos at full price, and they just have a boatload of them. You guys aren't selling these. Mark them down.
I'm going to go in a circle really quick. Justin, what do you think the Metacritic on Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival is? First number comes to mind.
5.
50 or 5?
Yeah, 50. A 50.
Okay. Zach?
5 out of 10.
13.
13. Donald?
I'll go for the middle here, 33.
46.
What?
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, not necessarily. If we're playing, what's the
Price is Right rules?
Price is Right rules, which I believe we are.
No one told me that. I would have. I was trying to go for closest. What is this?
I'll give it to both of you, because Price is Right rules is like, honestly, the rules it should always be, but I didn't technically call it Price is Right rules. But yeah, 46 out of 100, generally unfavorable.
Shockingly high.
I mean, I have seen worse. Like, I have reviewed games that have been on Metacritic's worst games of the year list the last 2 years, and that still seems high to me.
All right, so let me look at these two amiibo. Pearl has these fingerless gloves, giant zippers. Looks okay. Looks like a Splatoon amiibo. Marina, though, looks the way Marina looks, except one thing that's really bothering me is that it doesn't look like she has green fingernails. It looks like her fingers are dipped in green paint, which is really jarring to me. They look unnatural.
Well, I mean, if it's dripping off, aren't both of them Octarians technically?
I guess maybe that's where the ink comes out.
I don't think they're Octarians.
They have octopus things coming out of their heads.
At least Marina does.
I don't know. I really don't think they are.
I think Pearl is just human.
I think Pearl has a. I don't know. What's her deal?
Being lesser.
She looks like her mother drank during pregnancy.
That's not nice.
Look at her.
How's the chat room taking this abuse of a waifu?
Oh, I just clicked on the top chat to see what everyone's saying. Hi, what is this? Is our last comment.
Okay, sorry.
So we're off to an excellent start.
Sorry, I was making fun of DMX. That's all.
All right.
But yeah, and in other Splatoon 2 news, they're doing we don't want to drop the price of the game, so let's put some more value into it thing with it, the same way they did with Breath of the Wild on Black Friday. So starting on Star Allies Day, you'll get a 100-page guide and some stickers with the game.
That's March 14th or 16th or 18th or something?
16th.
16th, okay. Yeah, so there you go, March 16th. And maybe the amiibo will come out that day. Probably not, but it could be.
No, I think that is a good day to guess it'll come out. You know.
I think if they were going to come out that quickly, we would know by now.
Yeah, we would see the date.
That is true, but
I mean, they're putting Detective Pikachu out like a week after that, and we knew about that a month ago.
So, do you guys think this is amiibo winding down?
No.
I don't think we're out of the woods with Player 2 versions of Smash Amiibo yet.
And maybe new Smash Amiibo if a new Smash comes out soon for new characters. Maybe.
You know, I'm starting to doubt myself about the Smash port. I really am.
I am all in on that for this year. I know what Neil says. I think something's happening with Smash this year. That's what I'm all in for. Let me be clear. Something Smash related is happening.
Okay, E3 or Evo, which one gets it?
Oh, E3, because more eyes are on that.
You guys know that the 6th year of Amiibo is this year?
I believe that.
I'm just
Wait,
kidding. I'm just
oh.
kidding. It was 2014.
Technically, this would be the 5th year of Amiibo if we get anything in November. Which, let's face it, we're going to get something in November.
Yeah.
I guess this would be the 5th year of Amiibo. I was just trying to be like the depressing, this was this many years ago guy. Although if you want something depressing, come 2020, people born in 1989 will have been part of 4 different decades. So there you go.
Oi.
Yeah, that's a Splatoon 2 Amiibo.
You
There's
really
not
need
that
a
much.
100-page guide for Splatoon 2. Shoot the floor.
And then shoot the people that get in your way.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, they could... I don't know if they're going to like break down the maps, or maybe it's like a single-player guide, so you don't spend 2 hours running around looking for a sea snail or something.
Maybe.
All right. TinyBuild announces 6 Switch games, 6 more Switch games. They've put out Mr. Shifty already. Mr. Shifty's like a decent Hotline Miami-esque game. Not necessarily the best game in the world, but it's a-okay. They did a Hello Switch video on February 10th, which kind of showed off 6 games.
Yeah, that video, they had some issues with doing the live bit. So maybe they should be doing what Nintendo does, which is pre-record them and then upload it live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which it didn't seem like there was necessarily much of a reason to, considering all of these were games that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, like they're all, I believe, all have come out on PC before, but I think this is, and possibly on other consoles, but the fact that they're coming to Switch, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you and all that. And there's a couple of games in there that I'm kind of interested in. One especially I put down to see if we could get a code for it so I could review it.
What games are you interested in specifically?
I'm interested to see how Hello Neighbor goes without streams, because that is a game, that's a horror game that really made its mark from people doing YouTube streams and freaking out about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the one I really want to play is Cluster Truck.
Ooh, I can tell you about Cluster Truck. I played Cluster Truck. Let me see how long I played Cluster Truck. I have Steam open right now. I played it for 3 hours, and I got to the very final level, which was too hard for me. But it had a cool level creator too. Cluster Truck's a good game. It's a very good game. It can kinda wear its welcome a little bit, but the way, like when you watch the trailer for Cluster Truck and you're like, oh, jumping on trucks. Like just like it plays the way it looks on the screen, is what I'll say, which is exactly what you want to hear. So it's a good video game. It's a fun video game.
I wonder
a little bit. 3 hours is like all the distance I ended up getting from it.
I wonder if this is one of these games that it's more fun to watch other people play than to play it by itself, but we'll see next month.
Yeah. No, if it's $10, $15, you'll be fine. Punch Club. Oh, yeah, I should say what the 6 games are. Hello Neighbor. Last game revealed. Due in 2018. Future content updates include free of charge. Streets of Rogue 2018. Party Hard.
Yeah, Streets of Rogue is totally Hotline Miami. I really got a Hotline Miami vibe from that game. The only difference is it's like a roguelike instead of having set levels.
Oh, it does kind of have a little bit of a roguey Hotline Miami thing going on. I have it on my Steam library because for some reason I'm on TinyBuild's press list, which means that I get like a lot of Steam codes sent to me from them. I have it in my library. I have Hello Neighbor. I think I might have all these. Party Hard I did not get into when I tried playing that. That's coming to Switch later this year, specifically May. Already available on Wii U and 3DS.
I think that's Punch Club you're talking about there. That's already out on Wii U and 3DS. But yeah, that's there's a lot of people that I follow that are sort of into boxing, mixed martial arts, those kind of combat sports, and they really love Punch Club.
Punch Club I've not played yet. I'm theoretically interested in it. I enjoy a good boxing game. But you're right, I was looking to the wrong PC news story. Party Hard is coming in the summer. It's a Hitman style game where you got to end the party by any means necessary. Very cool premise, but I found it to be an extremely difficult game. Kind of difficult to the point that it disqualified me from enjoying it.
I've played games like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Zach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cluster
Although
Truck.
the difference is I finish them and then hate myself.
Yeah, and then 10 hours down the drain that you could have spent reading a book.
Yup.
Yeah, but you come out of that and you feel like a man. Like
when you finish Donkey Kong Country Returns, you feel like a failure.
I felt great. That game was awesome.
I'll feel funky when I beat Tropical Freeze for the first time.
Yeah, that's coming out in a couple months too. Tropical Freeze is a good game. Donkey Kong Country Returns is an amazing game. Feeling like a man for beating a difficult indie game. Oh, Justin.
You did it.
Justin, go beat the end as an eye. Get back to me.
Just rip the hair off your chest. Throw it.
Go bench 2 plate, Justin. Go get a job as a mover. Tell me you're gonna beat some TinyBuild game.
The more often you tear that chest hair out, the darker and faster it grows back.
If you're trying to get rid of it that badly, that's what wax was invented for.
Oh.
Final Station 2D exploration title that's releasing this month. Includes story expansion called The Final Trader. There you go. That's an adventure style game. Oh, it's a 2D style adventure game. Okay.
I don't want to use the 12-letter word that's often used for these, but it's kind of one of those.
It's walking simulators a lot more than that. Oh, roguelike, maybe. Is that what you were thinking of?
No, I'll put it in our private chat here.
All right. Before I just say it out loud. Well, I might not. We'll see.
This is.
I don't think it's
word. That's a good word.
I don't like that word.
But it's so descriptive. It's totally like what kind of a game it is when you see it.
Yeah, but you don't need that last part of it because the last part of it.
Well, nowadays you kind of do.
I don't agree. I never agreed with that.
Is this a new level where neither our video nor audio listeners are going to know what we're talking about?
It's the Inside Nintendo News Report.
That's right.
It's a combination of one 1993 video game, 96, and a 1998 video game with similar design philosophies.
Jesus.
Retronauts has done like a 5-part series leading up to the back half of the name.
Really? Good Lord.
Of all the games that led to this moment.
Jesus or Jesus Alfaro says Bendy and the Ink Machine looks lit. Has that been confirmed for Switch yet?
If it has, it hasn't crossed my desk. And
I just like that name.
Bendy and the Ink Machine.
That sounds like a really good name for a rock band, though.
So do you guys know what this game is? I do.
I've never heard of it until now. It
is coming to home consoles in 2018. Oh, yeah, it's coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It was I think we knew about Cuphead first, but this game came out before Cuphead. It's a first-person adventure game that sort of plays off of old-style cartoon nostalgia. I played some of episode 1, and I did not click with it, even though I love that style, and I love many of the cartoons that this game is based on, but it did not necessarily click with me. But it is one of those games that is getting like Hot Topic representation. People are playing it on Twitch and YouTube, so...
Oh yeah, it's also playing with the Fleischer vibe, but in a really fucked up way.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I kind of like this.
Yeah, it's a little cute. There's TinyBuild though, and then I guess Bendy and the Ink Machine. NIS America announced multiple Switch titles for 2018 at their yearly stream. It is a yearly thing, right? They just do this once generally.
They do it once a year. Last year they happened to do it while we were doing this show, so we had the fun part of reacting to like Call the Separable coming out. This year we did it the night before, and it was just game after game after game, no breaks. The only breaks we really had were the ones that weren't coming to Nintendo consoles.
Mm-hmm. First Switch announcement: Penny Punching Princess, April 3rd,
Penny
North
Pinching
America.
Princess, yeah. So that's the that's an action RPG / critique of capitalism, I believe the term that we're using for it.
March 29th, Europe, April 3rd, North America. Fallen Legion: Rise to Glory, action RPG with 2 distinct storylines and multiple branching paths. May 29th in North America, Europe on 1st of June. And then there's Birthdays at the Beginning. Yeah, Donald, tell me about Birthdays at the Beginning.
Or, as it's known on Switch, Happy Birthdays. It was originally published by Arc System Works, and it's developed by the original guy behind Bokujo Monogatari, better known as Harvest Moon previously, or Story of Seasons now. It is a simulation game that does readily involve dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. Which I'm trying to do to get Zach's attention here, and it's a sort of his take on a God game, and it's already out on PS4 and I believe PC as well, and it will be out on Switch in the summer.
Interesting.
Birthdays at the Beginning. It's $15.99 on Steam right now,
because they're discounting any game that has dogs in it for the Chinese New Year.
I'm a year of the dog, so I'm pretty hype. 1994. Let's go. All right, Birthdays at the Beginning. Guess the reviews on Steam, Donald. Only this one I won't go around. I'll only ask you, Donald.
Probably like 3.5 stars.
Oh, it's not a stars. It's
numbers.
No. I guess I'll just tell you. 36% of the 11 user reviews in the last 30 days are positive, which is mostly negative. So it's mostly negative in the last 30 days, and 51% of its total user reviews are positive. As for what they're saying, I do not recommend this if you don't have a reliable internet service. Always on internet connection on Steam.
Ooh, and I don't think that's going to be the case on Switch, because that's kind of hard to enforce.
All right, I have a more critical one to read to you. This one's from Dardamos. 150 products and account, 15 reviews, 16.8 hours on record, not recommended. Look at the hours played of all the reviewers and you'll see very few over 20. The question is, why does a game that looks great and has so much potential end up with the gameplay hours of an RPG Maker game? The reason is that Birthdays is a fishbowl maker. You put down terrain, you fill it with water, it chooses what fish you get based on your choices. Once you've done that, you can watch an unchanging world. You have fun up until that last step. Every creature in the game is a representation of a number under the hood. It walks around and makes noise, but it doesn't actually do anything, and that's when you see your limitation in the game. You can only affect the terrain. The only way that animals live or die is based on the terrain you make. You end up with an expensive terrain editor with creatures that are checkboxes with pretty animations. Was it fun?
It's like Tomodachi Life.
I guess so. I guess it is kind of that sort of hands-off approach to gameplay. But the last paragraph. Was it fun? It was incredibly fun. Was it worth $40? You need to ask how much 10 to 20 hours of an incredible game is worth to you. For me, it's not worth $40. Although if he's calling it incredible for 16.8 hours, I don't know if I necessarily agree with not recommended. That's $2 an hour. Some people recommend it, although they're low gameplay hours. Anyways, it seems like it's relatively mixed. They said it was mixed on Steam, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, and some of that, if it's got an always online connection, there are some people that will slam any game that does that.
Touhou will hijack the Switch again this fall. Touhou Gensu Wanderer Reloaded comes with the 3 DLC packs in the original PS4 Vita release of the roguelike, plus additional scenarios. Touhou Gensu Wanderer Reloaded is currently tabbed for summer release. My question for you, Donald, is what's the shooting game and what's this?
The original shooting game is basically a fan hack. This is an officially licensed roguelike starring some of the same characters. Remember how I said I had 2 of the 10 worst games on Metacritic in the last 2 years?
I did.
The one from 2017 was a Touhou fighting game. I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, no.
But part of that is because I'm not really in the mood for their Touhou game, and part of it is just I don't play well with roguelikes.
And roguelikes are seeing a weird comeback on the Switch. I don't understand it.
It seems like a lot of games are making a comeback on a Switch. I look at the review thread in our email every single week, and it's like, here's 20 games we have no reviewer assigned to because so many games came out on Switch this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't with the site during the Wii heyday. Was it like that back then too?
No.
Well, Zach was the only one on it. No?
No. Because they didn't have digital codes back then, really. If the publishers sent us a game, sure, but that was a lot rarer.
And I guess the indie scene was just kind of starting up on Nintendo consoles during the Wii's lifetime.
Yeah, like
True.
as in they literally had their first indie game service in 2008. Oh my God, WiiWare's 10 years old now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So one thing I want to know, Zach, is if I remember correctly, I think I remember hearing this on RFN, but I could be totally mistaken. When WiiWare was just starting up and they didn't necessarily have code functionality, weren't they sending people like gift cards to get points on the Wii Shop so they could download these games?
Correct.
Oh man, that's something.
I think they sent them to Neil or something. Not Neil back then, but John.
Yeah.
He'd give it out.
Did they attempt to use the gifting function?
I don't. Not that I know of, but I could be forgetting.
Given the limitations of the thing where you had to both be Wii friends, I don't think you'll be able to pull that off.
No.
So it would take a little work, but you know, you can get 100 sent out.
Chances are there's like 20 people reviewing these WiiWare games anyway, so go for it.
I mean, either way, you're gonna have to enter a code into a device in order to.
Yeah. Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Dusk, Nippon Ichi, Dungeon Crawling RPG, Masses of Treasure to Loot, Puppets to Command in Battle, 2016 Vita title in Japan, later ported to PS4. That's coming to Switch this year.
Yeah, October, and this maybe it's just me, but I'm getting some serious Etrian Odyssey vibes from that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only thing I think is missing is like it's got that Etrian art style.
And that the Shin Megami Tensei first person sort of thing.
Yeah, the only thing I'm hoping for is that they don't imitate the Etrian Odyssey dancers.
Yes, I agree with that.
Ease 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, Summer 2018, Switch version, additional cosmetic items in the base package that were downloadable content for the other versions. And then there's a reversible cover that's going to be selected via social media survey. And then SNK Heroines, Tag Team Frenzy from the Nintendo Direct last month, Summer 2018.
I'm excited about that game.
Next character announced, grappling character not in King of Fighters 14.
So I don't know if we have any SNK aficionados in the chat room, but do we have any idea as to who the hell that is?
Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll keep an eye on it. I'm keeping an eye on it. It's been a relatively low key chat all around, but hey, you know.
I'll post it. I guess if you're watching on NWR, you can always post it in the comments if you have some idea, or if you're getting the audio version, whether through iTunes or Patreon, let us know again. The comments at the Nintendo World Report. It's in the video section.
Oh, you just reminded me. We had another review. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. There you go. Hold on. Music. I gotta go to podcast. I'll figure that out. Runner 3 finally submitted to Nintendo for testing, which means it's probably going to come out in the next month.
It could,
unless they send back a bunch of corrections.
Unless they send back a bunch of corrections.
If there's a lot of bugs, then we're probably not going to see it till the spring. But depending on how fast they get through lot check, we could see an announcement of a release date before the end of the month. I think the only thing they're holding out on is basically because they've got the physical version, making sure that's ready to go into stores, because apparently the physical versions can be the same day as the eShop one.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm with this in mind. We've had these Nindy showcase videos come up at the end of February and end of August, so they're about 6 months apart. Are we due for another one?
No, I don't think so. I wish, but no.
I mean, we still don't have all the games from the last one. Where's Dragon Mark for Death, for instance?
We still don't have games from the last Wii U one.
Yeah.
There was a Wii U one?
That, Donald, that game we played together, the Earthbound inspired...
The Y2K?
Yeah,
That will never come out.
Weren't they so adamant with us that it wasn't coming to Switch, and then they announced it was coming to Switch?
I think then last year they had a release at PAX. Last year they had a release date for like June for Switch and everything else, and it didn't come out.
Y2K, a postmodern RPG. Maybe I was wrong that it's gonna have a Switch. Get the demo on 9/6/2016.
Yep.
Expected release date. Oh, they did update it a little bit. Here we go. 25-hour JRPG style campaign. Expected release date April 2018. Expected release platform Steam, PS4, PS Vita, Nintendo Switch, and Wii U.
I'll believe it when it's on store shelves.
Yeah. And it had kind of it was like a Earthboundy, like it had a little bit of that sense of humor, but it also had like a Scott Pilgrim, Ready Player One kind of sensibility, which is very give or take depending on your taste, I might say. But it had a very nice look to it, I would say, at least.
Yeah, it looks real good. I mean, I really want to play it. And I'm annoyed that it's facing so many delays.
But hey, maybe that's what they need to make it the game you want it to be.
I guess so.
I don't know. Do I want to buy this on Wii U or do I want to buy it on Switch?
I don't know, Donald. What do you want to do?
I mean, we did reach the point that on Nintendo.com, they went in and literally cleared out everything in the coming soon section for Wii U except for Shovel Knight, the King of Cards.
Yeah.
And then we're still getting Wii U games because, I don't know.
Oh, I have a bone to pick with Nintendo, and I'm trying to, and I think you guys would be the right people to talk to about this. So I've been able to play my Switch in the last month because my right Joy-Con is just shut off and hasn't been syncing, hasn't been doing anything. My left Joy-Con's fine, charging, whatever. My right Joy-Con isn't even connecting to the right side of my Switch, and I guess I should make a call since I have a launch unit, and if there's a 1 year, I kind of need to contact Nintendo soon.
You've got what, 3 weeks left or 2 weeks left?
Yeah, but it doesn't need to get back to me. I just sort of need to initiate by March 3rd, I think is the rule.
Yeah.
I guess the obvious solution is to try to find a right Switch Joy-Con and see if it's an issue with the Joy-Con or the Switch itself. I'm guessing it's the Joy-Con because that has a much higher likelihood.
Yeah, that's something you might want to look into or try to do that first just to make sure you don't have to send the whole unit in and then not have a system.
Oh yeah, because the way Nintendo is, and I don't necessarily think it's like, oh, Nintendo sucks when I say this, but one of the frustrating things about having a problem is that when you contact Nintendo, it's just like, send in everything you have.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I called Nintendo recently about some problem with my Joy-Con, my extra Joy-Con, which I hadn't really used that I got around launch because I finally tried. I'm like, it was screwing up. It had the problem where it wasn't syncing correctly, and they wanted me to send everything in. I'm like, no, that's not happening. So that became an issue. Nintendo's usually good, but they gave me some problems with that one for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know, Alex, you better hope if you do send in your whole unit, better hope they don't erase your save files.
I know.
Yes, I would do if I were you also, Alex, if they do make you send the whole thing in, is find a friend who has a Switch and transfer all of your stuff over to their Switch temporarily, and then when you get it back, move it back.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I would figure, I mean, as long as the core system is functional, they should be able to do that profile transfer thing to the Switch that they send back to you, because they would probably just keep the old one you had and refurb it and do whatever, and then either sell it on the store or send it out to somebody else once it's refurbished. Because Neil's just flat out died, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because Zach, you and I are both familiar with someone who had they had the issue where their sound was cutting out, like it was randomly going into headphone mode when there was no headphones.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure at that point they could just do the profile transfer thing and send them a new system.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all this stuff
I
makes
would
sense.
always hope so, but whenever I have the option, I don't leave it to chance, and I just find another system to move stuff to. Even with 3DS, I did that a few times.
I took a chance on it on the 3DS back in 2012, and I got my system back, or got the replacement system with everything on it. The only time I've ever really lost stuff was when I physically lost the system.
Well, this just really brings up a larger problem with the Switch, in that it needs some sort of save backup functionality, either through some sort of cloud saves, or let me save things to the SD card. My game data to the SD card? Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see. I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of another Joy-Con. I was thinking of just buying a new right Joy-Con and just seeing if it works. Because I mean, if it's a functional Joy-Con, I'll always have a use for it. But you know, I'd like to think that with the problems that Joy-Cons were having towards the Switch's launch, that there's a much higher chance that it's a problem with like my Joy-Con just dying than it is with my Switch unit itself, but you never know. Tokitori 2 Plus revealed for Switch, launching February 23rd, which is 8 days from today. Excuse me.
Yeah,
$14.99 or equivalent.
We got this from the European press release, which basically said, "Oh, you can now you'll be able to preload this tomorrow, and it'll be 33% off if you do it."
Yep. Tokitori 2.
That apparently was I know there's at least one person on our forums who had it very high on their Game of the Year list in 2013 when it came out on Wii U, and then they went and made it better with all the plus enhancements that are going to be there from the start on the Switch.
Is this the game with the yellow bird?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the game that their studio put everything into, and then it like did not do great, and then
they closed.
Or something like that.
They didn't close, but they basically put out one last game and then they went into maintenance mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or I'm pretty sure they had to lay off most of their staff or something.
Yeah. But apparently porting games to Switch is easier than we all thought it was. Because if their Skeleton Crew can do this, then don't be surprised if their other games come over as well.
Cherry Goblin, thoughts on SteamWorld Dig on 3DS? People love that game. 3DS games are pretty.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that they managed to keep the frame rate steady even if the 3D's turned on, but I can't really take advantage of that because I don't have a 3DS anymore.
Oh, right. Neither do I.
Yep. All right.
Great game, though. If you don't have a Switch and you have 3DS, buy it.
Some might say it's a better game than Breath of the Wild.
Some might say that. Some people would be wrong.
I'd say that.
Oh, God.
Justin, did you play it?
I played Dig 2. I played the whole thing, 100% of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it very much.
All right.
You should know that. I talked about how great it was.
I don't remember.
There's a lot about that night I think we've all forgotten.
Oh yeah, PAX East. We're gonna be doing me, Neil, couple other people too. I think it might be the Perry and Casey's, where we're gonna be doing a list of the top 10 Switch games of its first year. We're going to be holding a Switch birthday party at PAX East. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a panel. I'm going to be hosting it again. One of our episodes.
I'm not going to that because if I talked about Breath of the Wild in public, I don't think I'd leave the room.
We only have an hour
I agree with
to
that.
figure all this out. We only have an hour. Anyways, to wrap up the show, we've got a little bit of what we've been playing. I'm gonna run through all of this super quickly. It's just basically gonna be a boom, 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 boom. Justin, how are you doing on Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm on Chapter 6. I have a lot. I'm almost at 100 quests completed. I just found a great leveling exploit that took me from about level 60-ish, 65-ish to about 90 in the matter of maybe like 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was awesome, and you'll be able to read more about that soon on Nintendo World Report during our Xenoblade week of content, which is coming soon. So look forward to that if you want to see how to power level and more tips and tricks. I'm doing a whole tips and tricks article on Xenoblade 2, so should be good if you're still playing the game or just getting into it for the first time.
What's the most valuable Xenoblade tip?
Most valuable tip.
Or second most. You got to leave the most for the article.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't order them in any specific order. It's more like a list of things you should know before you get into this. So I didn't really come up with a list. But one thing I guess is very important that may be overlooked is try to focus on your blade's skills, like combat skills, and make sure you fill out their affinity tree, because there are times when you can just spend a little bit of your own time powering them up, and that will go a long way in the combat.
All right. Word.
Should also mention in a bit of news on the Xenoblade 2 front, there was going to be an update this week that brought New Game Plus, easy mode, and stuff like that. They have unfortunately found some bugs in that update, so it is now the first week of March.
Yeah, I'm very upset about that. I was looking forward to that update all week.
Justin, you're the one who's going to look forward to New Game Plusing it on even harder difficulty.
I'm not doing New Game Plus because it's going to erase all your quest progress, and I'm going to beat it, do most everything I'm guessing at this point, and leave it at that.
So you're not going to get all the Korok seeds in this game?
He's going to get all the blades.
Well, I didn't play the hard mode in Zelda either, so I guess New Game Plus can kind of be compared to that.
Okay.
Replay mode. So
Mercenary King. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, there's other games I want to get to, but I'm having a lot of fun with Xenoblade 2 still.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's amazing that you've been sticking with it for going on 3 months now.
It is, actually.
Yeah. Mercenary King, Zach. Mercenary Kings.
Mercenary Kings. So
didn't the game not be great when it first came out however long ago?
I guess it was like 2014. It came out for PC and PS4, and I don't think it was bereft of content, but they've added apparently a whole bunch of new weapons and 2 new characters. There's only 2 characters in the original because it supports 2-player co-op. Well, maybe it must only do 2 because, well, never mind. So when I looked at this game in videos, it looks like Metal Slug. I don't know if you guys have seen videos of this game. It has that kind of art style mixed with the Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up from a few years ago.
But it's a little Monster Hunter-y too, right?
No, I don't know why people say that. So the game is mostly, you go on missions. It's like, go find so many, Baphomet or kill this guy, or rescue these hostages, or beat this boss, and mini bosses. And the bosses will, on occasion, run away, but they just appear like in another area. And if you have the right mod equipped, you'll always see where they are. So it's not like Monster Hunter at all. But there is a loot system. Enemies drop stuff, and you find things in the environment, and you use the loot to craft mods and weapons. And there's a ton of weapon parts, so you can craft all sorts of crazy guns. And knives, you can craft a whole bunch of crazy knives, like a fish. One knife is just a fish.
Okay.
One knife is a plunger. Mm-hmm. It really, really interesting game, and I just love it to death. I did not see myself falling so in love with this game, but man, I love it. Which is always a nice surprise when you don't know anything about the game you're reviewing. And it works well online. I've played with James Charleston, and we had a good time. No issues with the internet connection, even though he's in, Japan, and I was in Soldotna, which is a little town in Alaska, which probably shouldn't even have internet, but it worked really well. And then you can play with randos online too, nice. And that works really well. So it's a really fun game, and I don't know how much it costs. I think it's $20.
Yeah.
But if you like if the idea of a co-op or even single player. I've been playing it mostly single player. A co-op kind of mission-based Mega Man game sounds good. I mean, that's what this is.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And it
Yeah.
seems, and I looked at your review, you did give it a very positive score, and you can read more detailed thoughts at NintendoWorldReport.com.
I believe Neil is going to have a video review of it soon, with me reading the review poorly.
So if you'd like to hear the dulcet tones of Zach, just keep it locked to this here YouTube channel.
That's true.
Yeah. Fire Emblem Warriors, or excuse me, not that game. Although that game is tanking in price on Amazon right now. I think you get the special edition for like $45.
You can.
Yeah.
I almost did.
Yeah, me
I
too.
almost bought it, but I was like, I'll never play it.
It's only a buck or two less on regular edition.
I'm honest. If that thing keeps nosediving here, I might buy the special edition just so I can get a hold of that soundtrack.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You've been on a quest for that thing for some time, huh?
Yeah. Although I think I still have to get the Fire Emblem Echoes limited edition one ripped too. So anyway, but yeah,
Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah, so I'm sort of in a holding pattern until Bayo comes out tomorrow. So also with the anniversary content, they dumped a whole lot of stuff last week, including the rhythm game, which for a cell phone side game of a side game of a cell phone side game is okay, I guess. The rewards are kind of minuscule, but considering you can basically get the daily event out of the way by just going in and tapping randomly, that it's fine by me. The music's all right, and the ending for beating all of the stages, it's cute, especially if you're pairing people up in the game.
Yeah,
Shipping. It's called shipping.
Yeah, I think they call it. I think the official heroes term is ally support. And yes, I am. Okay. But yes, I am shipping together. You know, the obvious pairs: Ike and Soren, male Corrin and Niles. You know, keeping it real, because it's providing a nice break from the absolutely insane quests they've put in on a rotation, but stupid me decided, you know what, let's go and try and beat these things all in the first week. So I have to beat these insane battles with a particular with 4 of the same type of unit, and nobody can die or it's game over, and I have to restart. So there has been a lot of strategizing, a lot of looking up videos on YouTube to see, okay, how am I supposed to do this quest with this combination? And I've burned through a lot of the resources that I had, but I did get all those quests done this week.
Nice.
Good, because that gave me a lot of orbs to go pulling with, and, well, I have 3 out of 4 on the seasonal banner again.
Okay.
So
Fire Emblem Heroes' biggest fan is still playing Fire Emblem Heroes a year later, huh?
Yes, and I will be doing some thoughts on that while I am trapped in a speeding tube for 10 hours tomorrow.
Good. Well, not good that you're in the tube, but good that we'll get some more thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. The only game I've really been playing this year is I've been playing Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball FighterZ on PC, which is not a game that has been announced for Switch. Although who knows at this point, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, it's the Arc System Works Dragon Ball Z /Super fighting game that people have been going nuts over because it looks just like the anime because it's running on the same engine as Xrd, Guilty Gear Xrd, and it's pretty good. I've played a handful of hours. It's very quick. It's very fast. It's one of those tag teaming styles where almost like Marvel versus Capcom, you're like tagging in and out, doing assist attacks a lot. Pretty good character selection. I wish there was more representation from Super because I love me some Dragon Ball Super. I do watch it actively, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get this game in the first place. Goku Black is awesome. Hit is awesome. It seems like they're going to have a lot of DLC characters. It's very hard, I would say. Or I guess I should say it is very much an anime fighter in that it's easy to pull off flashy moves, But if you don't have a decent technical knowledge base, you're going to get your ass handed to you, which I would say is even unlike Tekken. I played Tekken last year for 6 to 10 hours. And while I wasn't necessarily competitive, I was good enough to, on casual, maybe win 1 in every 3, 1 in every 4, 1 in every 5 matches I got into. On this one, I haven't won a single match online yet.
Damn.
Yeah, it's very, very hard. Which, like PUBG, if I lose enough times, I sort of stop having fun. Which, I mean, I accept that it's my fault, and I accept that I can't blame the game for this because I'm not good enough to compete at this level, even on casual. But from my personal perspective, the fun gets sort of taken out of it a little bit when you just lose over and over again.
Quick, everyone send Alex your energy.
Super
hyperbolic time chamber.
Hyperbolic time chamber. You guys saw Z in some capacity, I'm sure, right?
I don't know what that means.
Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, no, I don't watch that show.
No.
You know why? Because I hate Akira Toriyama's human character design.
I think it might be one of the best ever.
Oh, God, with the foreheads and the scrunched up faces.
It's got heart, Zach. It's got heart.
Lord.
Wait, so you don't like the Dragon? Is it the same thing for like the Dragon Quest 8 designs, or is that? Or are they
almost completely, yes, except for Jessica and Yangus.
Guess that doesn't sound like one of the best games ever made, huh, Zach?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did there. Zach put up a really good Dragon Quest 8 review when he played it last year.
You might say it's one of the best games ever made.
You might. I don't think you would after hearing your opinion on his art style, but someone else might.
Well, considering you barely see the faces outside of the occasional cutscene anyway, then it shouldn't be too bad.
That's
the
true.
battles themselves are first person.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, wait, no, they're not. You
Yeah.
see your team doing stuff.
If you like fighting games, you're probably already playing this because it's the new hotness of the FGC. If you like Dragon Ball Z but haven't picked up this game yet, which would be slightly surprising, I think it's amazing looking, especially on PC. I also would maybe say that it's pretty good that Steam gives you the ability to return games if you play it for under a couple hours, if you don't end up liking it, which is not to say it's a bad game. I think a lot of people really love it, and I think they're completely right to love it. But I could also see some people who aren't in love with fighting games getting this because they expect Dragon Ball Budokai or Tenkaichi Budokai, where it's like the same button inputs for a bunch of really cool flashy attacks. And this is kind of like that, but it's way more technical and way harder than that. Or it has a relatively low barrier to entry, but the skill ceiling is so overwhelmingly high that if you're not willing to dedicate yourself to it, it could become a less than immensely pleasurable experience for you.
Yeah.
Would you compare it to Smash Brothers in that respect?
I don't know, Justin.
Because I always felt Smash Brothers had a low barrier to entry because it was very easy to pull off all the moves.
But then you can also have the balancing factor of turning items on.
Well, I meant items off style.
Yeah.
To be more specific.
Jesus Alfaro. That sucks. Dragon Ball Super will end March 25th. The last episode will be 131. 128 comes out this weekend. Nice. It is very nice. What's the animation studio with the cat? The one that makes Dragon Ball Super? Not Funimation. Toei Animation. They said that there's going to be another movie coming out. The 20th Dragon Ball movie. Your 20th anniversary. No, it wouldn't be 20th anniversary. The 20th Dragon Ball movie is coming out after the series ends. Dragon Ball Super is great. If you have Crunchyroll, I suggest watching it. If you have access to the internet and are willing to sit through some Funimation ads, you can also watch the complete series. So it's very good.
And All Systems Goku, which you can also follow along with people as they experience Dragon Ball Z for the first time.
Oh yeah, they're Jeff Gerstmann's watching Kai, so they have 2 episodes out that I think cover the first 6 episodes, maybe.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball's a damn good anime. So, I've read the manga; it's very good. Dragon Ball Super is a good anime. Anywho, that's our show. I want to cap it off by reading a review from one Daniel Vell, who promised to write us a review if we gave our game of the year to Zelda. Which we did not do it for this reason, I will say. And I was joking when I told him on the show, like, you better do it. But what do you know? We have a review now. And Justin, I hope it was worth it. Well,
this review better make the whole thing worth it.
It's a pretty good review. Daniel Vell, February 1st, 2018. Good ol'. 5 stars. A great show that hits all the Nintendo topics. I enjoy the fact that they stream live. The way they interact with the audience is amazing and keeps me quite interested. I highly recommend. P.S. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your woman on the floor. Gotta get up to get down. Gotta get up to get down. What up, everybody? So glad you're here. It's Coolio with the flow back in your ear. This ain't the Fantastic Voyage, but I'm still on a mission to see if I can get your attention. Now I want to drop some information, just a little additive to your education. I live my life by the code of the Funk 600 watt amps, 18s in the trunk. Was this review helpful? Yes, and also report a concern.
Copyright infringement.
What song is that? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I declare a thumb war.
The floor, Julio.
Do I want to? I mean, do we have to bust out Regulate now?
Oh, it's from Gangsta's Paradise. I don't think it's legal for me to include any on the back end of the show, but am I allowed like 5 seconds? Maybe. We'll see. It'll be fine.
We're already not suitable for advertisers, so go for it.
It's true. We are an explicit show. That's our show. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us all on Twitter. Donald on Twitter at DonaldMick, DonaldMick. Find Justin on Twitter at King Nintendo Fan, King Nintendo FAN. Zach on Twitter at ZMiller19021902. I'm on Twitter at CULAFI. Get us on iTunes, Nintendo News Report. Go to our website, NintendoWorldReport.com. Follow us on, give us some money on Patreon if you want. Patreon.com/NWR. Support the site that supports this show. That's our show. See you next week.
Join the Discord.
Join the Discord. Is it just Nintendo World Report?
Go to NintendoWorldReport.com and at the top, click chat. It'll bring you there.
At the top, click chat. I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, you've been invited to join the Discord. That's amazing. So there you go. Go do that. And have a good night. Bye.
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 Good night.